Okay, so this is my new project. It's for it's actually for a website that I'm creating, an e-commerce website called Moltaire, to sell water bottles and things like that. So I decided I was going to practice my JavaScript in something that's a little more realistic, not like a game or anything. So what I was attempting to do was to create a preview tool where users could go and customize their bottles and their rings and put their own personal customizations on it. This is a laser engraving website. So um, right now on that website, the preview tool just brings you to this page. But I am working on a HTML, CSS, and JavaScript page to throw onto here into WordPress, and I'm going to show you that program right now. So this is the HTML that I have. This project, this is more for a JavaScript, um, for more practice in JavaScript than anything. But to do that, we did need HTML and CSS. So I went ahead and I created an HTML page, a CSS page, and a preview tool.javascript page. We go ahead right off the beginning and we link that CSS page, and at the bottom we link the JavaScript page. JavaScript page does need to be linked at the bottom every single time because the HTML needs to be loaded first. And that's what this is doing right here. It's waiting until the content is all done loading in. So in our HTML page, we just have a couple things. We have our right panel, left panel. I'm going to go ahead and run this so you can see what I'm talking about. Bring this up here, preview HTML, but with live server. So this is what we have so far. It is definitely not done. There's a lot of work to be done here, but this is what we have so far. So we have our right panel. We have a text selector class. We have a lot of different classes, text creator class. We have our drop-down class right here, and that's where it lists all of our fonts for line 1 and line 2, which is just a copy here of line 2. We have the library header, the selector. We have the custom upload. Custom upload does not work yet. That is in the future, where somebody will be able to upload their own PNG and it will display on the bottle. And then we are going to link this into WordPress with a bunch of hooks later on, so that way when they finalize and add it to the cart, that it goes to the checkout. So that's it for the HTML. Now let's just take a look at the, oops. Now let's just take a look at everything else real quick. Let me close all these. Okay. Let's take a look at the CSS and the JavaScript. So actually, let's take more of a look into the JavaScript. The CSS, again, it's just a styling sheet. That's what makes this all look good. The only thing that I do want to mention really is just the responsive things that we have going on here to make it work with a tablet and also a phone. So that way it looks nice and doesn't get all jumbled up. Let's bring this back. Okay, so now let's just take a look into the JavaScript really, because that's why we're here. So for the JavaScript, we have, this is only 107 lines of code. But what we have is, we have the product name. This is going to be inserted with the hook later on. So that's why it just says stainless steel black. But if we ever change this with the hook in WooCommerce and WordPress, it'll update this. It'll grab it from the actual cart item itself. So it'll say blue stainless steel 32 ounce, since that's what it is. And then we come down here. We're creating a couple variables over line 1's 2, input line 1, 2, font select 1, 2. And basically what that's doing is it's grabbing we have a bunch of listeners here. So for the input here, it's grabbing the value of input line. So whatever I put here, so let's say Percy, and let's do let's take line 2, and let's say Jack, Percy Jack. And so that's going to take both of those inputs, and then it's going to set it to overlay line 1, which gets thrown onto overlay line 1 in the HTML page right here. And then the CSS, that's what has the positioning and everything on it. So that's how the line 1 and line 2 works. And then we have over here, we have the font family. It works very similar. If we want to change the font of line 1, we go ahead and go, let's do Georgia and Georgia, and you'll notice that the fonts change here. Very similar again, we're going to the overlay line 2 in the HTML and setting it with the font select values of 1 and 2. Down here, we are creating, this is getting into the library section. We define a couple more variables: library container, browser, overlay image. We have that overlay image here again, very similar. We have all of our libraries with the name, the template. It's basically a list inside of a list. What that does is when we open up the Magic Space, any of these, it'll bring up these images that we can choose from. And so let's go to the Norse mythology, and let's click on this one. You'll notice that it puts the engraving there, and it just gives you kind of an idea of what it'll look like when the bottle comes out. Again, it's a big work in progress. This is as far as I've gotten so far. This is the library builder. Basically, this is what this does, is it allows me to add more libraries later on. So for example, if I wanted to create a new library called Greek Myth, and then I could add some more templates to it. Picture.png, picture.png. It would allow me to do that. So now when I go into my, oops, sorry, I need to put a comma here. Now when I look into here, I'll see that Greek Myth is added, and that's this JavaScript over here. It's it basically is, it's creating it's adding the boxes to it. It's adding the buttons for the template previews for it. And then down here we have the chosen template and overlay slot. Basically what this is doing is it's allowing us to, when we click on something, it's going to keep it memorized even if we move around, but it's also going to add it to the bottle. But other than that, that is my project. I'm going to hurry and just do this again here just to show you. But that's it. Thank you for watching.